He looked at his watch. It was time for the bus. Where was the bus? He was at the bus stop. He stood up. He looked down to the street. No bus. He looked up the street. No bus. Where is the world was the bus? It was time for the bus to arrive. He sat down on the bench. It was getting cold. The wind was blowing. He did not have a jacket. He was wearing shorts. He was wearing flip-flops. His head was cold. His arms were cold. His legs were cold. His feet were cold. His toes were cold. His toes were turning blue. Where was the bus? He stood up again. He looked down the street. He saw the bus. It was coming. In a minute, he would be on the warm bus. In a minute, his nose would be warm. His hands would be warm. His whole body would be warm. How nice! The bus arrived, but it did not stop. It kept going. It was the wrong bus. He looked at his watch again. Where was the bus? More than 100 passengers got on the plane. It was a winter day. It was January. The weather was very cold. It was snowing. Ice was on the roads, but the airport was open. The big jets were flying. A little snow never stopped a big jet. Big jets flying all the time. They rarely crash in bad weather. They rarely crash in good weather. Big jets are very safe. The passenger got on the plane. It was 7 a.m. The plane was supposed to take off at 7:30 a.m. It did not take off at 7:30 a.m. It did not take off all morning. It did not take off all afternoon. The plane sat on the runway until 6:30 p.m. The passengers sat in the plane all day. The plane could not take off. The pilot could not see the runway. He could not see anything. The only thing he could see was his two hands. A little snow was okay. But this was a lot of snow. This was too much snow. But maybe the snow would stop. Then they could take off. So the pilot waited. The passengers waited. At 6:30 p.m., the pilot told the passengers to get off the plane. Everyone was happy to leave the plane. They went back into the airport. They waited for the snow to stop, but it did not stop. It snowed for 2 more days. The mailman put the mail in the mailbox. Dad went outside. He said hello to the mailman. The mailman said hello. Dad opened the mailbox and took out a magazine and two letters. One letter was from his sister. The other letter was from his brother. The magazine was for his wife. It was a garden magazine. His wife liked to work in the garden. She grew flowers and vegetables in the garden. Dad went back into the house. He opened both letters. His sister invited him to a birthday party. His brother invited him to a wedding party. Dad enjoyed reading the letters. He enjoyed getting the invitations. He picked up the phone. He left a message for his sister. He would come to the party. He also called his brother. He said he would come to the wedding.